Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with part 3 of my Born of the Gods full set review, and we're going to continue with the black color, focusing mostly on limited because the pre-release is coming, but we're also going to talk more about the general recap of what the cards are in the set and things you should know about them. Eater of Hope is a fun final bomb for limited, even though it's very expensive to do its ability. It's either 7 for 6/4 flying, or it can remove stuff with your now useless early game creatures. So this card should definitely be a consideration as a bomb for pickup. Ashok's Adept, I don't like its heroic ability enough to make it worth its cost. It's pretty awful. I would avoid it. Painseer also is a constructed focused card. It's not going to be that great in limited. I think it's just a bear and most likely will backfire on you, so I would avoid it unless you're picking up just for value. But if you want to win, don't go for this card. Forlorn Sudama, of its cycle, I think it's the worst. It's a very fragile card for a lot of mana, and the Intimidate is nice and all, but it's just pretty meh. And the zombies, you need to do a lot of work for the zombies. It's not giving you flyers. I think it's pretty awful. Drown in Sorrow is, again, not really a limited card. It will be more for constructed play. By the time you play at turn 3, your opponents are going to be on to their 3 toughness and beyond stuff, so I don't really see it doing that much. But in constructed, this will be a very, very fun card. Champion of Stray Souls, 6 for a 4/4. Its ability, you can get it back on top of your library and use it over and over again, would be nice if it was more than a 4/4. But as a 4/4, it's kind of boring, and its ability requires a lot of work to make work. Obviously, it could be something, but most likely not, and I wouldn't risk it in limited. There's just better stuff most of the time going to be around. We'll talk maybe more about it if we get to the top 10 commander list that will be coming to you guys soon. This guy might be there. Bioblight is going to be huge, awesome. Grab your foil if you can, but I don't think it's that great in limited. 2 black is a lot of work for what it does, and it has the same problem Drown in Sorrow does. Herald of Torment, this is not going to be a mono black devotion card, period. There's just Nightfall Spectre is better. But in limited, this card could be a lot of fun, and if you're already by a second pack, you see yourself running more black, this card would be very nice for the 3-drop. It's 3, has evasion, doesn't do a lot to you, and the Bestow could be useful later game, even though I think it's a little overcosted, but you really just want the creature for limited. Fate Unraveler is a really, really great EDH Commander card, and not much else going on with it. That's pretty much where it's going to see any sort of play. Spiteful Return is an awesome limited card. I would grab this guy as quickly as you can in limited because he, on his own, can give you, if you land him turn 2 and your opponent doesn't have a way of stopping him, it's 3 damage for 2. Even if they do stop him, it's 2 for 2, which is not bad at all. And of course, if you manage to bestow him, then it has long game value, and this card will likely be winning some limited matches. Easy splashable, guys, grab it if you can. Nyxborn Eidolon, I think, is just awful overall. Shrike Harpy, 5 for 4/4 flying is what you're 99% of the time going to get, but your opponent does not want to give you this in limited almost ever. And 5 for 4/4 flying is okay, it's fine. It could fit a curve if you're trying to fill that out, but I would not go for this card right away. Servant of Time Merit, yes, I get that the regenerate now comes into play tapped and then it untaps on your turn, so you can do that overall. This will maybe be a card for EDH Commander, like Pauper, that's possible, but I don't see it as a card for even limited, and constructed obviously not. Marshmist Titan is not going to be a mono black devotion card, and for limited, you really have to be dedicated black to even consider this guy. I probably wouldn't even bother. Guild is not the best removal in this limited format, but one of the best removals. Exiling for 4, even at sorcery speed, is just fine, and it gives you a ramp advantage next turn. That's awesome. Fellhide Brawler is just a bear, and is not that great. Fated Return is a very cool card. I don't know if I'd risk running it in limited because 3 black's a bit iffy, and it's 7 mana, but it would potentially end games in limited. I would see this card more for EDH Commander, obviously not constructed, and we'll talk more about that potentially in the top 10 commander list. Eye Gouge is awful overall, I think. I don't think it's all that great. I mean, there are really no Cyclops effects going on, but it does kill Mutavault, so it might be a sideboard card for constructed. That's definitely a possibility. Black Oak of Adunis, it's a wall that can potentially kill things, but it takes a lot of work. And even though, yes, it's an inspired enabler and yeah, I still don't love it. Way to the Underworld, you -3 and 2 for 4 mana. It seems a lot to try to remove stuff. It can slow your opponents down, so I wouldn't discount grabbing this in draft, but this would be more of a sideboard card, I think, against decks that are running tons of creatures and stuff. I don't love it. I don't think it's that great, even though flavor is awesome. Watch Chanter of Mogis. This guy is tricky because the Inspired can be really powerful with giving Intimidate to your big stuff late game. 5 for 3/3 is okay. I don't love it though. It's definitely not an early pick in draft, but it could fill out a curve and work well in that sense. Sanguimancy, you're not running Mono Black Devotion in draft most of the time, and either way, you're losing life. It's pretty awful. I don't think it's that great a card. Adunis River Trawler has the same problem. You really have to be dedicated to some sort of bestow build, and even then, he's pretty bland and boring. I mean, if you're running bestow, this is a card. Necrobite is, I think, pretty awesome. It's one of the better, if not, it's not the best, but it's one of the best removal spells in the format because it's instant speed for 3 and it can regenerate the creature that you're blocking with. So if you block with a little guy, Death Touch kills their guy and then you get your creature back. That's a big deal. This card is fantastic. It's easily splashable. I love it. Even as a common, it's going to be great. Grizzly Transformation, I think, is also pretty awesome at cantrip. So it's basically 2 to activate Heroic, hopefully, and give Intimidate, which is very, very big. This is a very good card, and I would definitely consider running it for limited. Forsaken Drifters is awful. Claim of Erebos, yes, it's an heroic enable. Yes, it enables Inspired. Yes, it does lose life. I don't love it, but it does seem a pretty decent card for limited later on in your draft. Not first pick, but first, second, third pick, but maybe a sixth, seventh pick. Asphyxiate is removal. Good removal, even in an Inspired format, plain and simple. So grab it. Archetype Finality is okay. It's probably more of an EDH Commander card than anything else, and giving all Death Touch, it's very expensive for what it is. So that is my review of the black cards for Born of the Gods. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tap the like button and stay tuned for the next part, which will be red. So that'll be coming to you guys soon. If you're new to the channel, you want to see all the Born of the Gods set reviews and the top 10 EDH Commander list coming to you soon, then subscribe. And as always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.